welcome again to another episode of the Curacel Insurance and AI podcast. As usual, I'm Abdul Jabbar Momo, your host for today, and I have a very exciting guest with me on this show today. He's a community curator, a convener, he's an innovator, he's an operator, he's so many things. But I'll let him introduce himself. Damola, do you want to introduce yourself to our community today?
Yeah, hi, and thank you very much for having me on the podcast. My name is Adedamola Oloko. Yeah, you mentioned a number of things there in terms of what I do and what I'm involved with. But yeah, my bias really is around insurance innovation and technology. And happy to say that I've been doing insurance for, I think this month is 10 years. Yes, and half of that time has been around insurance innovation and technology. So yeah, driving community engagement, just facilitating conversations through podcasts, through events, and really then on the other side, really getting my hands dirty in terms of driving innovative ideas as well within the industry. So carrying out innovative projects within the industry. Yes, that's something that I've been really, engaged in over the past 5 years. Yeah.
Thank you very much again for joining us, Damola. I mean, it's anytime I bump into you in one of those industry events where you are often the host, even, it's always exciting, to exchange ideas, see the kind of conversations you're driving. And we're really excited to have you today, bring some of those, knowledge and nuggets for our community. And for those of you engaging with us for the first time, again, don't forget to hit the follow and the subscribe button for more interesting insurance and technology content. And this is brought to you by Curacel. We are the leading providers of AI-powered insurance solutions for the insurance industry in emerging markets, especially. So, Damola, please tell us a bit about your journey. I mean, before you mentioned, 10 years, quite interesting.
Mhm.
Decade now,
Yeah.
I think it got you right on time. But yeah, 10 years in the insurance industry, and I'm sure you may have even done some interesting stuff before that. So could you walk us through your journey and how you ended up doing innovation and some of your work at AXA today?
Yeah, thanks. It's a very interesting journey because my background is communications, right? So done my master's as well, even in communications at Unilag. And like many people, I think I stumbled into insurance, right? And so it just happened that, a friend of mine who, to be honest, today I'm very much grateful to,
Mhm.
he told me about his neighbor who was having interviews to fill his team. And yeah, I went for the interview, and when I got there, lo and behold, this was a sales role, insurance agent role. It was a commission based role. um, I will tell you that, just to put it lightly, I did work out, right? Because it was not something I wanted to do. However, I mean, the guy who I went to meet also, just came to me afterwards and said, I mean, just give it a try. And at that time, no work. I didn't have any job. So I went back home. I told my parents and said, hey, this is what it is. And I just thought about it. Maybe I should just even try it. At least I would be leaving home, right? And so that's how my journey started. And quickly, into that journey, I just thought, if I mean, this is what I want to do, even if it's part time, I should actually be serious about it and get to be a professional in it and just really know about it. Because again, I was also thinking, okay, what exactly is insurance? On one side, I'm learning about insurance and the products in the office. I'm going on the street and I'm telling the people those things that I'm learning, but I'm getting more no's than yeses. And I'm asking myself, okay, why are people not buying insurance? I'm
Yeah,
hearing online and in the office that insurance is so important. It is
yeah,
such a critical thing, but people are not buying. So perhaps maybe I need to understand what insurance is myself and really understand why. the products that I'm selling are the way they are. Maybe it's a problem with the product. Maybe I can also be some help to the company to say, okay, maybe we need to change it this way and that and stuff. But so I started my insurance professional certification journey a year into my experience in the insurance industry. I'm chartered today. That was also a journey, but I think it did help me, to get a context about insurance. But as time went on, this was in and around COVID. I just started to think about, okay, yes, I'm getting no's than yeses. What's happening? Why is this the case? What's happening in other markets? So again, if you remember COVID period, people were engaging online. There was talk about technology and innovation, in the insurance industry, in other sectors as well. So I started speaking with people in other parts, in the UK, the US. I say, hey, how is it happening in your space? In Kenya, I say, okay, what's happening there? Okay, we are hearing this thing about M-Pesa, M-Pesa, M-Pesa. Okay, is it trickling into insurance? How are people buying insurance? What's their experience and things like that? And so that's where my curiosity around insurance innovation and technology, started off, and then when COVID hit, April 2020, right? I launched again in collaboration with a colleague and friend of mine who also had a background in communications but also was in the insurance industry. We launched insurtech podcast. Right, I remember, recording the first episode, with my iPhone 7. If I remember, I recorded that inside my dad's car. He locked it up. COVID, everyone was locked down, so everybody was at home. So I just locked myself in the car because he wanted to have that studio, feel and just, and things like that. So yeah, that's my journey into the insurance innovation and technology space in terms of just that interest. And so since then, being in and around all of those conversations, engaging the industry to say, okay, there's a role that technology and innovation can play in helping us to get to where we need to get to. We're saying penetration is less than 1%. It can be accelerated with technology and innovation. And we can look at the banking space to see how that is actually working. So it's not abstract, it's something that actually can work. And so, my experience in terms of work, as at the time, I told you I started off in agency, working as a salesperson. But post COVID, I did. Transit into a digital partnerships role. So still sales, but I was now looking for digital platforms where we can sell insurance, right? So how can we get insurance to platforms where people are already engaging, the apps, the e-commerce platforms, and things like that. So I did that for a bit. But what I do today is even deeper than all of those things that I've been doing before in terms of innovation. Right? So right now, I currently manage innovation and innovative partnerships within AXA Mansard, on the leading insurance companies in Nigeria. And the main idea around that is how can we find solutions that solve specific challenges within the AXA Mansard value chain, right? And so, what my job is to find those solutions, find those partners, and see how we can get them into the AXA ecosystem. We have an innovation program as well that we run that then takes these partners or these startups through a 12-week program, and then we find how we can collaborate, co-create solutions that is valuable to both parties. So yeah, that's how
Makes
every day.
sense, absolutely. And I was even going to ask, what the details of your day-to-day life is like, right? Before we even go to like practical use cases or some
Mhm, mhm.
collaborations you've been able to, champion from
Yeah.
this program. But I mean, typically, you sit down, start thinking about how do you improve the AXA Mansard value chain,
Yeah.
what collaborations, what businesses, what solutions are out there, and how
Mhm.
do I integrate this, right, into our
Mhm.
business to make it better, faster, more efficient, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I mean, what does that look like if you were to describe a day in your work life?
Yeah. So interesting because I mean, for us at AXA, one thing that keeps us, going every day is the point that we act for human progress by protecting what matters, and what matters to everybody is different, right? And so if we look at it from that angle, we see that okay, for a corporate customer, for example, what they're expecting is different from a retail customer. Or even within the retail market, there are different layers and buckets of customers or segments that we can serve. And so that then trickles down to our value chain and how we can serve these different customers. Um, yes, what we have been doing before now has gotten us to where we are today. However, if we want to do a lot more for new customers that we'll be getting, and if we want to grow as a company, as a business, there are some type of capabilities that we need to get. Now, one way to get those capabilities is to be acquire them, internally, just carry out those things. Another way is to partner, right? So partnership is super important for us, right, at AXA. And so on one side, part of the one of the areas that we really were driving partnership was in distribution. You remember I mentioned that digital partnerships, and that's still very huge for us today, right?
Yeah.
But beyond that, and that's where my role comes in terms of okay, beyond distribution, we have a value chain. How can we, even if we distribute to a customer on uh, one of the fintech apps, right? His
Okay.
experience cannot be same as that of a customer who buys or who we onboard with a form, for example, because if it's the same, it means that even if I'm connecting my API or whatever to that app, it means that somehow I'm still telling that customer to come and fill a form somehow, some way, right?
Oh,
How can I remove some of those bottlenecks and those hurdles, right? And simplifying the process and making purchase of insurance easy, right? So what my day to day is identifying within that value chain. So as AXA Mansard, we're a group. So we have three entities. We have an asset management business, AXA Mansard Investments. We have a health business, health insurance business, AXA Mansard Health. And then we also have an insurance business. The insurance business does P&C, you call general insurance, and also do life insurance. And so within these three value chains, where are the gaps? Where are the opportunities in terms of collaboration and partnerships? Where can we get solutions from outside that can help us solve problems faster, cheaper, as well. Opportunities for us to also outsource innovation, basically, right? So when we identify those, so my day to day is identifying those gaps within the value chains, harnessing them and saying, okay, these are the areas we want to focus on, and then launching out to look for these innovators. That can be directly engaging, attending programs, attending events, working with tech hubs, that also is done through our innovation program, where I mentioned that we work with the innovators over a period of time. So that's really my day to day. And the side of that, one thing is to bring them in, the other side is now getting those solutions to work within the business. And so do a lot of stakeholder engagement with management and also the business teams as well, working with them to pilot solutions and really just selling these ideas as well, being like a champion internally for these solutions to say, okay, these are the benefits, these are the opportunities, these are the challenges, yes, but these are the ways that we can scale them. So that's really my day to day. Always engaging, always seeing how we can make things better.
okay. I like the word you use, champion, because I like to describe you as an innovation champion, right? I mean, it goes beyond being a job for you. Like every time I hear you speak, I could get the passion in your voice and it tells me, yeah, Tamala is preaching the gospel, you're doing the Lord's work. But yeah, I was going to ask, just connecting back to your innovation program. I mean, this has
Mhm.
been on for a couple of years now, and I'm sure you must have had some really amazing results, incredible collaborations, some favorite use cases, and whatnot. So how, are you solving some of these value chain problems for AXA, using the innovation program as a launch pad, right? So you could share some practical instances on maybe your personal favorite or business favorite use cases, anything to just get us excited on what innovation could possibly look like for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, I also mentioned that so our innovation program, the AXA Innovation Exchange Program, is the first insurer-backed innovation program in Nigeria, right? And we're intentional even from the get-go as regards what we wanted to run and what kind of program we wanted to run. And in terms of the program and how it runs. Uh, we are there are intentional engagement with the businesses and with the problems, right? So once we get you these innovators into the program, yes, you can have a solution or maybe a prototype, but not necessarily a prototype, an MVP, right? What we are offering you is an opportunity to validate that solution within a live ecosystem, right? The AXA Mansard ecosystem, right? And so once you are coming into that program, we know that by the end, you're either having a better product or you're also solidifying the fact that this product is actually solving a problem, right? So it's been very interesting. We've worked with about 15 startups so far, over three cohorts, and definitely a lot of good cases that we've seen and opportunities and collaborations that we've actually even secured, through all of these engagements, right? And I mean, one is the one with Curacel, right? I think it's one that we're very happy with, and I mean, it's one thing that we are also seeing that there are a lot of opportunities and value that we can still even build on. This around the remote vehicle inspection solution. What that you know has been able to do for us, and we think that it can still even do more for us, is helping to improve the experience of our customers when it comes to motor insurance. Uh, Externally, yes, but even internally, improving the experience of our sales team, right? Helping them to better serve their customers. It's helping them also to reduce costs, right? As well. Inspection is mandatory when you want to, book a motor insurance transaction. So what they usually will do is visit those locations where the vehicles are and take those pictures and really inspect the vehicle. But with the tool, it just makes that process easy, right? All of the things that needs to be done in terms of verifying that the vehicle exists, verifying that or ascertaining the state of the vehicle at that time. Those were things that physical visit would have helped to solve. The solution is helping to take that up, right, and making the cost of doing that even lesser because with just a click of your phone, you're able to just do the inspection and all the information is provided. What then happens afterwards, again, the AI solution that then just detects all the dents, scratches, and just gives a comprehensive report. Now, that is very valuable for, yes, when you are booking the transaction, but it then now makes more sense when you are doing claims, right? Because now you know what the vehicle looks like, the state of the vehicle at the beginning. So by the time the claim is coming, you know if it's a pre-existing damage, right? And yeah, you're able to then know fraud, solve for fraud and things like. So I think that's one very interesting use case that we've seen, and it's very interesting journey that we've been on with the Curacel team. I must say, I mean, kudos to. I know it's been a long journey, and I must say that we have learned. Both parties have learned. I know I can remember the solution or the version that was brought into the program. It's definitely not what it is today. But again, that's because of the approach that we take. You work directly with the business team so that you're working directly with the challenges and you're able to see real time, not superficial solutions, but you're able to solve real solutions that can solve. You're able to build real solutions that can solve real problems. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, apart from the Curacel use case, there's 14 others.
Mm-hmm.
In the interest of diversity,
Mm-hmm.
are there other interesting use cases as well? I think we've shared one along the lines of the P&C business.
Mm-hmm.
Share one along the lines of maybe health insurance because again, health is very important. In fact, I
Yeah.
think when you look at impact metrics and we have like really vulnerable people, you know, all of health insurance is like, really at the forefront. So how are you guys leveraging, some of these technology, new modern technologies, partnerships to solve in the medical or health insurance?
Yeah, thank you for that. Right, I think one key or one interesting thing that we've seen, at least from all of the engagements that I've been a part of through the program, is that solutions that we have sort of made good progress with have been ones that are relating to remote engagements, right? So if you look on the health side, right, one of the interesting offerings that we sort of took up was one from Checker, right? So Checker does remote based testing. So they basically bring the lab to you. So diagnostics labs, they bring the lab to you. So wherever you are, and so what we did with them is so on our life business, for in fact, so in life insurance, there is a free medical limit. There's what we call a free medical limit. So any sum assured, if you are insuring your life up onto a certain amount, you will not be required to do medicals. However, if you are going beyond that amount, you'd be required to do a medical check. And so we used to have issues around those people who are insuring their lives beyond that limit, going for checkups and going for the medicals. And so it made sense to say, okay, how can we collaborate with a health tech company to say, get get the lab to these customers, because these customers, they're HNIs, they're busy, but we also need to be able to consummate the contracts, because that's very important. It's very key to it. So it made sense to work with Checker, for example, to close out that loop. Basically saying that, hey, customers, be where you are in the office, at home, we will bring the lab to you. We get the test done and we go do all the things that we need to do. And the customer doesn't need to really change their schedule. So that's another thing. Again, looking at that value add to the customer in terms of that convenience and the experience, and ensuring that they have the maximum cover that they actually are sort of paying for. So yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, that was a very good insight that you're now seeing that a lot of the success and adoption are solutions that give you remote capabilities, right? So in motor insurance, you typically have to go and do physical inspection,
Yeah. Yeah,
perform
engage with someone physically.
staff
Yes.
cut down and all of that to take place, and then
Hmm.
process. But now with automation and
Yeah.
mobile devices, that happens in a matter of
Hmm.
minutes. And now, also on the medical side or on the life side, combined even, you are able
Hmm.
to take the lab, to the customer. These are very interesting, customer experience use cases. I think something I also find very valuable is ability for technology itself to transform the insurance business within, right? So you mentioned something around employee experience. So it just got me wondering. So once your customers are having all these, very easy to use, easy to adapt solutions that removes all these frictions for them adopting your
Hmm.
AXA products, right? How do you also use technology to move your employees to 10x better to, meet up with this rising demand? Of course, I mean, if friction is less, uptake would increase, right?
Hmm.
And that also means more workload on the back end. So is it about hiring more people, or are you balancing talent with technology? And how are you also using technology, right, to drive your people to just, every day?
Yeah, I think for me, it's going to be a mix of talent and technology, right? That's the reality, right? There's so much that humans can do, to be honest. I think recently there was, they announced, I think it was Microsoft about the quantum computer that's as little as. as this year. So there's so much that a human being can do, right? You have ChatGPT today. I think that technology is not going to replace humans, but it's an enabler, right? And it's important to see it that way so that you can actually take the best out of it, right? So yes, you are the best copywriter, right, in the world, and everybody knows that. But ChatGPT can even make you a better one, right? So maybe it will take you 2 weeks to write a copy, right, or put together something. But with ChatGPT or other tools, for example, you're able to churn that out in a week, in 2 3 days, but still maintaining that quality because you are the one that is ensuring that that quality is there because you have that value and that knowledge of top notch copywriting is you, right? But then the technology helps you to churn that out faster. So I think it's a mix of both, right? And as insurance grows and people begin to want more insurance, and it's something that we're beginning to see, I think that there's a place for technology, right? There's a place for technology, but there's also a place for humans as well. And I think that one thing that was that I've always said is it's not like technology or in some places you mention AI, right? It's not like these things are going to take your place, right? But the truth of the matter is that you have to adapt to the realities of those things being the everyday, right? Those things being the everyday. The other day, I was watching the news, and I think it was Singapore, and there's in entering at the airport, all you need to do is hold up your passport, and there's a camera there that just scans your face. It's probably checking on the back end with their records, and if you're on any blacklist, things like that. And if you're okay, just walk in. There's nobody at that point. But the truth of the matter is that to program that thing to work, humans will be involved, right? The knowledge that it needs, the data that is fed, it's humans that will provide that. For example, all of your experience, you have to codify it somehow, some way, and put it in that. Someone has to man those things. So if it was you that was that robot yesterday, today, okay, it's going to be a robot, but how can I now be equipping myself to be able to man that robot and ensure that the robot is able to do my work even better? But it's still my work, or it's helping me to churn it out a lot better. So yes, when I was doing it, I was seeing one person per 20 minutes. But with that robot, I can see 5 people in 10 minutes because it's taking away some things. In really honing down on this, right? One of the things that was very interesting with the remote vehicle inspection tool was, so one of our teams that does a lot of the assessment of the vehicle inspections when they are done. So before now, is- advisors will take pictures with their phones and send it in and things like that. That team, one comment that they made is that with this tool, it reduces or it eliminates the need for them to wear their detective caps, right? So at the end of the day, you don't know if that picture is doctored, right? Right, but with technology, for example, you're able to ensure that you're able to know that this picture is not doctored, right? AI can help you tell that, right? You're able to know that you're able to know the location where this vehicle is, right? So for example, if that inspection was done in the US and you want to insure it in Nigeria, for example, you're able to find that out and you're able to tell. You're able to see that, okay, the bumper already has a dent, right, by inspection. So if the person comes and claims and says, I want to claim for the whole bumper, okay, it was already damaged before, right? So it's clear and everybody knows. The pictures don't lie. So that is what technology will bring. And as we get to insure more people and get more people to buy insurance, we need all of those capabilities to be able to reach more people, to make the experience simpler, easier. Because one thing is that as an industry, we have been corporate driven and corporate focused, and most of our books are corporate, right? However, how can we serve the retail market? In serving the retail market, there are some capabilities that we need to have. We don't have those capabilities today, but we need to get them because the way the way you engage with a customer who is a corporate customer who is giving you 100 million, for example, in premiums, right? The customer is giving you 5,000 naira a month. It's going to give you a lot of hell. So how can you simplify the process for that customer so that the experience is going to be simple, easy, even if he has issues, the way to get those issues resolved is easy as well, so that it's not affecting your business, it's not affecting the brand, it's not then because that 5,000 naira customer can make the most noise if their claim is not paid. Right? And that 100 million naira customer, if he has a claim of 1 billion naira, you will pay it, but you won't say anything. Right? So that's the reality of the business. But that's the lens that we also need to look at it in terms of the capabilities as individuals, professionals in the insurance industry. How can I equip myself to be ready for the future of insurance? As companies as well, how can I equip myself to serve more customers, to serve existing customers even better?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, just thinking about all you said, it just boils down to technology serving people, whether internally or
Hmm.
externally,
Yeah.
And again, if we're looking at penetration, right,
Hmm.
moving the needle, increasing the pie, the real impact lies in retail. And, of course, with digital inclusion, I think it just makes sense that technology is a great way for us to scale. We've seen other use cases, like you even mentioned earlier, in the banking sector,
Yeah.
in like you even said in one of the regulatory events where, when we're coming up with the InsurTech bill, I remember the comment you made in that session. You said something about there is no financial inclusion without insurance, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very resounding statement because, again, if you're talking about risk and exposure, right, for the vulnerable people,
Hmm.
one financial product or service kind of like keeps them at bay,
Yeah.
insurance. So how come we're not using technology enough to drive penetration, inclusion, and even product innovation for the
Hmm.
community who need it the most? So it's really about people and, just using technology, serving them, making their experiences better, tailoring better products for them, and, also even keeping up with the operators being better at delivering those services. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing, Damola. I think, there's something you kind of like mentioned. I mean, we've been talking about technology very broadly, right? I mean, we're an AI business. We're in the AI era now, so it would not do us justice if we didn't, kind of like narrow down into artificial intelligence and
Yeah.
we wrap this up. So, I mean, what is your opinion on AI in insurance as of today? Again, everyone is becoming super interested in the conversation. Different users are exploring multiple use cases, including AXA, right? So, I mean, as of today, where do you think the insurance industry is in terms of AI adoption? And looking into the future, you know, what are the potentials you're seeing that we can really enjoy at the
Yeah. I think AI is a revolutionary technology. I think that if you are not leveraging AI already or thinking about how you're going to leverage AI in your business, I think you are doing yourself a lot of this favor. Um, why I say that is there's a lot that AI can help businesses to do, and we already see, and when you even say there's a lot that AI can help business do. I'm even referring to outside of the world, right? You look at other markets, developed markets, and if you're looking at insurance specifically, you see how insurers, even insurtechs, for example, are leveraging AI for improving customer experience, right, and really just making that simple, seamless. So you go direct to customers. For example, you're offering retail customers. Yes, there's need for a channel where customers can engage and get feedback and follow up, or make inquiries or make complaints. What that in a traditional sense would speak to is setting up call centers, employing x amount of persons. That's huge costs. But today AI can solve that, because we have AI call centers, for example, AI driven call centers. We have AI chatbots, right? That can be points where customers can engage and get feedback and get their solutions, or get solutions to challenges that they are sort of having, right? Um, I think that customer experience is one area within the insurance industry that AI is going to help to solve. And it's across the value chain, it's really just improving how customers enjoy insurance. I think the other area is really just efficiency, right? In our processes, and things that you need um, engagement with humans. AI can definitely then simplify that process, take away that process. What that fits then to is reduction in cost. So the cost of implementing, or carrying out certain activities can then be crashed at the end of the day, right? I think the other very interesting area is claims, right? And really around fraud. I think fraudulent claims or fraud in insurance is a huge headache across the continent, across the insurance industry generally. But with AI, for example, pattern recognition, right? Being able to see some of the things that probably the human might not have been able to detect, right? So giving the capability for real-time decision making, right, I think is very important. I think the best part of AI for me is the fact that it is a continuous learning tool or solution, right? The more data, again, structured and well planned data that you're feeding the model, the better it becomes, right? The better it becomes. It really just making the whole process easier. So when you're looking at insurance generally today, many people will talk about the bad experience, even if they've not even had the experience before, but they heard some story, right? People talk about the bad experience. People talk about long wait times. So those are some of the things that AI, can help to solve for. I think the biggest headache is on the claim side, where because of the huge headache that fraudulent claims brings to the table. Even those genuine claims get mixed in everything. So, and everybody then has the same experience. But with AI, for example, leveraging it to do a lot of fraud detection, you're able to reduce that burden and that headache, for example, and then improves the experience for where you're able to accelerate claims processing for those honest and genuine claims, and you're able to then now sieve out those ones that are fraudulent and be able to hone in on that. At that point, you know you can bring in a human, for example, to first deep dive and really just see how we can solve them.
I mean, on the lighter note, I was just thinking, yeah, with all this AI-driven fraud detection solutions, it could become a norm in the African region very soon, where if your claim is processed almost instantly, you know, okay, great, straight through. But before,
Absolutely.
what happened is,
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting to a point where turnaround time is very huge. It's a
yeah,
key metric for customers, right? And customers of today are in a reality of quick, fast.
Instant
results.
gratification.
Instant, exactly. So I post on Instagram today. My my picture is up. My video is up. I posted post on YouTube. My video is up, and 1 million people have seen it, after 24 hours. Right. I'm buying internet data on my phone, and immediately I'm getting my airtime, or I'm getting internet data. So why should insurance be taking me 2 days, 4 days, a week, a month to be consummated? Why should it take 3 months to get my claims paid? Right. So just building around, and everything doesn't revolve around AI, just to
Yeah.
mention, right? So but it does solve some things within that value chain, and in that, what that would then do is help us to rethink some other things within that value chain and say, okay, if some of these things have been taken away, maybe we don't need A, B, C anymore. We can reduce the time it takes for us to get claims
Um,
paid to the customer.
Interesting. Interesting. I mean, I think you know my notes are quite filled up today. You know, extra points for me. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you do have an advice or maybe two for operators in the space today, right?
Mm.
Maybe you could tell us one thing they should really be doing today, and one thing they should really stop doing for them to succeed at the insurance business. I mean, for those listening, our learners, our practitioners, what do you have to share with them? Tell us.
Yeah, thank you. I think I'll say that one of the biggest challenges for us as an industry is a mindset of, this is how we've always done it, right? This is how things has always been. We can't afford that. It's as simple as it is. We can't afford that, because that has to change. Customers that you're dealing with today, they expect more. uh, they expect to be served a certain way, and you need to be able to meet up to those expectations. You need to start thinking innovatively about how else can I get this value to a customer? How else, or what more can I do to improve the value that I'm giving to even my existing customers? Uh, those are the realities of today, right? How can I better serve the customers that I'm looking to get on. If it's generational view that you're looking at, if it's cultural view that you're looking at, if it's geographical view as well that you're looking at, what are their realities? What are the products that I can build for, or create for these customers that resonates with them, not products that this is how we're always been selling it. This is the version that we're always sold. This is what Nikon or the regulator has said we can sell. No. Today, and you mentioned the session that we're having, with the regulator. There is a regulatory sandbox. It's for everybody in the industry. Oh, there's a new thing that you want to test out. A new thing you want to work on. Engage the regulator and you take part in the sandbox and test things out. That's how we can grow the market. That's how we can get value to to our customers. So I think that is very important for us as an industry, as individual insurance companies, as professionals as well, to begin to change our mindset from this is how we've always done it to this is what's possible. All right. And the other part would then be, once we have that mindset change, test and learn. Yeah.
Keep iterating, keep
Yes.
testing, keep learning.
Mhm.
There is a sandbox environment, with the regulators now, and when regulators begin to set up, support systems like that, it shows us
Mhm.
that they themselves are also recognizing gain. They are knowing
Yeah.
innovation is the way forward. Thank you very much, Damola, for sharing so much knowledge and insights with us. In case our community wanted to take the conversation further with you, where can they typically find you? LinkedIn, Instagram, what would you prefer?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Adedamola Oloko on LinkedIn. Happy to connect and discuss how we can collaborate with AXA or for the industry as a whole. But yeah, if you're interested in our innovation program, which Curacel has been a part of, and we continue to work with them, and don't take my word for it. You can get testimonials from them. So you can reach out to us at innovation at axamansard.com. We're happy to take things forward from there.
Awesome. So if you're thinking around insurance, coming up with incredible solutions that could change the game and take the industry to the next level, do well to key into the AXA Innovation Program. You can connect with Damola on LinkedIn as well. More details on the lineup below. And do not forget to follow and subscribe to the Curacel and AI Insurance Podcast for more interesting and insightful conversations like this. Again, I'm your host, Abdul Jabbar Momo, and I can't wait to see you at the next one. Cheers, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.